Hi, this is Dale Janota with School Board Support Services, and I'm going to give you a little history lesson in terms of how the attainment level came about. And also, I'm going to show you how you can work with it. Plus, I'm going to allow you to get everything I have here free. Okay, I'm going to first of all give you a little history, and then I'm going to follow it up with an example of how it works. Now, the MEA attainment level was actually created by administration when they controlled the NEA and the MEA. They were looking a way to increase administrative pay, and their idea was to make sure that the highest paid teacher's top salary was 3 times as much as the base, or about that. So at their delegate assembly, they came up with a structure that was a ratio of 1 to 3. Well, Owen Nelson, the MEA research director at the time, knew this would never happen. So he took the worst salary structure in the state and called that attainment level 1. Then he called the MEA desired salary schedule as attainment level 9. To get all the other attainment levels, he split the 9 with the 1 to get a 5. Then he split the 5 with the 1 and got a 3. Split the 3 with the 5 and got a 4, and just kept doing this process. I mean, you can go on forever with this, but there was a few structural flaws in their thinking at the time. One of them is prior to the master's column, they only had 3 columns. They had a BA 1, 2, and 3, or BA 15 and 30. At that time, that was quarter hours. Then they had their masters, and then the 15, 30, 40, and 60. And again, they were quarter hours at the time. But most districts have a BA 3 or a BA 45 or a 5th year. So the mode method of solving this was to average the BA 30 with the MA and using that structure. But not all districts would do that. Some actually shifted everything to the right. So the BA 3 or the BA 45 was the same as the master's. Not too many people did it. Forsyth did it. Sweetgrass did it. There's a couple others, but they don't come to mind right now. But Sweetgrass, they did what I call a super attainment level, where they actually shifted their columns 2 places. And then throughout the process, well, all the rounding errors turned out. From year to year, many districts don't really have what's an exact attainment level, primarily to do with rounding errors. Another pitfall that happened, and this was totally by chance, when you put in an attainment level 4, the increments in the BA column were 4%. That led people to believe that that number had something to do with how the structure was created. They thought they needed to use the 4 some way, but it was just by chance. The attainment levels, numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4.5, or whatever you have, has nothing to do with it. It's just a number that's assigned to it based on the way Owen Nelson developed the structures. Now I'm going to go to this. I call it playtime because this is a lot of fun. There is the attainment level 9. And you notice here from the beginning, I just have BA 1 and 2, which is the same as a 30. Now let's take a look at the increments that we have here. In the BA column, the increments in the BA were 7%. As I go to the right, let's go BA plus 2, and I'm going to see what the increments are there. The increments get bigger as you go to the right. For some reason, as you go to the right, your increments get bigger, and I guess that means that your experience matters more. And I'm talking about experienced increments. You see with the attainment level 9 here, you have 10% increments. And if I copy this down, you're going to see they're all the same. Okay, and you're going to see this here. Okay, but now let's take a look at the attainment level 2. All I have to do is stick a 2 in there, and it develops the 2. If I want to look at attainment level 1, that's the one that's the worst schedule in the state. As you see here, we have 2.2% increments. Okay, when I divide that by 2, that 2.2, and then I had 1.07 there. So when I put in an attainment level 5 here, it's not 5%, it's 4.6%. If I put in attainment level 4, there's a 4. Okay? And there you see the increments to the right get bigger as you go further to the right. I don't understand that concept where your experience matters more when you got more education. But 4 tends to be probably the most common structure in Montana for those of you who have an attainment level. But I'm going to stick in the BA 45 in here now. And I had it preset here, so all I have to do is this right here, 0.11. So now we have this here. And so if you have, and this is what most districts have, is a half step. So you'll notice I just split these two in half to get that number. Okay, and again, you can see the increments get bigger and bigger as you go to the right. Now, what a lot of districts want to do is they like to see, well, what happens if we want something different? Let's say you wanted a 4.125. That's all you do. You stick in 4.125, you got your attainment level. The structure's right there. Okay, and this has happened before. Glasgow in the 80s did that. They moved from a 4 to a 4.25, but in between they went 4.125. Now they're back down to 4 again. But anyway, so let's take a look at a 5. Let's say you have a certain increment and you want to know what happens. Okay, I want to examine the cost of this. I mean, what's the difference between the cost of an attainment level 5 and attainment level 4? So what I did here, and this is just for fun's sake, and you can change your scattergram to fit yours. I put in a base pay at 34,000. I have more steps and columns than you actually need. You can always delete them if you're not using them. But I put an imaginary scattergram here of 46 and a half teachers, and I costed it out. You can look at it when you get this thing for free. You can look to see how I did it. And then I'm going to put over here, there's the cost of the schedule of an attainment level 5. Okay, so I'm going to paste a special there for you. You'll see why I did that, because I'm going to experiment now. I'm going to go over here. So let's say now, what can we do if we change this to attainment level 4 and wanted to maintain the same cost? So you change that to 4. And we can add $93,092 to the schedule. Unfortunately, there's no easy way of doing this. I like to do it just by trial and error, because it's not too much. I'm going to say it's going to be about $35,400. Oh, that's not enough. I got to take more than that in there. I don't know what it's going to be here. We're going to have to check this baby out here. Let's see if we can do it here. Let's see what we can do here. How about 35,420? Well, that's a little bit too big. I'll go 35,418.52. See how close I get there. I'm within $1. So here would be your salary schedule, rounded to the nearest dollar. I want to round it to the nearest penny, 0.01. There I got the schedule rounded to the nearest penny. That's going to be the same cost as an attainment level 5 using attainment level 4. It allows you to increase your base pay. And there's your cost. Your scattergraph didn't change. So that's all you have to do. Now I'm going to give this to you. And if you want it, all you have to do is to email me, ask me to send it to you, and I'll send it to you free. Now I did send it to everybody 2 years ago, but I had no explanation. So I think I had maybe 1 or 2 of you that actually looked at it, because it looks quite complicated, but it's not. I mean, I worked this thing out, and I'm exact. These attainment levels are right to the penny. If you look at yours and you look at your attainment level structure, you're going to see yours isn't quite exactly the same when I look at the numbers, and that's due to rounding errors over the period of time. Like over here, they might say 1.34. Well, I put in the 375 because I do not round off. I do everything right to the penny. And rounding errors can make a big difference. Okay, my name's Dale. if you want this, just email me. I send it to you here. You just tell me that you want it, and it's yours. And I thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the little history lesson I gave you. Bye-bye.